Is Donald Trump the cleanest guy in politics? Maybe. Or is the DOJ just incompetent and corrupt? Certainly the latter there. There's a headline just comes out of the DOJ watchdog, which says that the DOJ watchdog has concluded, try not, if you're driving, please pull over. I don't want you to laugh yourself into a car accident. They've concluded that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Say that again. The DOJ watchdog says that Jeffrey Epstein, the most famous, intelligence-connected, sex-trafficking with minors, buddy of billionaires and heads of state and royalty and a lot of powerful people, he just killed himself. Oopsie daisy. I don't buy that. And you don't buy that. And nobody buys that. To the credit of the Associated Press, they're at least filling in a little more color there and pointing out that the watchdog did find some misconduct by federal jail guards that allowed Jeffrey Epstein to commit suicide. But there's a lot of coincidences. The jail guard doesn't take his security walk. The other jail guard doesn't take his security walk. The one camera goes out. What about the other? What about a second camera? A second camera, it actually accidentally malfunctions too. How did he? Oh, he just accidentally had exactly the right amount of time to kill himself. I don't think so. Now, what does it mean that nobody believes that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? It means that our government is more corrupt, or at least more transparently corrupt, than it has been in our lifetimes. And when our government is transparently corrupt, people start to look for alternatives who seem like they are outside of the political establishment, which explains a pretty amazing poll that just came out from Morning Consult, which is about the 2024 GOP primary. And you know who's number one and you know who's number two. You might be surprised to know that Mike Pence is number three, but just behind Mike Pence at number four, Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy is an entrepreneur. He's 37 years old. Very few people had heard of him until quite recently. Vivek is a tech guy. He has written a couple of books. That's it. And Vivek right now is polling at 6%, which is twice the next candidate on the list. He's polling twice Nikki Haley, UN ambassador and former governor of South Carolina. He's polling twice Tim Scott, a sitting U.S. senator. He's polling three times Chris Christie, a two-term governor who is leading the Chrisisons, but not nearly as much as the Ramaswamasons. I don't know. He's six times Asa Hutchinson. I can't believe he's even on the poll. Burgum is at 0. Suarez is at 0. Hurd is at 0. Someone else, that's a candidate, someone else, capital S, capital E, is polling at 1%, so tied with Hutchinson. That's a very impressive number. So congratulations to Vivek and the Ramaswamy campaign. That's really impressive. And it tells you something about the time we're living in, which is that if you are viewed to be part of the political establishment, that is a liability for you. One other weird little bit of color on this poll is a lot of people are asking, how is Mike Pence at 7%? The way that Mike Pence is at 7% is one, the man was the vice president of the United States not all that long ago. The man was a popular governor of Indiana. The man was a popular congressman. So he's got a lot of support. And he also leans into more of the establishment side of the conservative movement, the Republican Party. And there are still a lot of people there. It's very easy to get lost with a tide of rising populism in this idea that the establishment's totally done and vanquished. It's not. And you saw this same kind of thing happening in 1980, which is why the 1980 presidential ticket for the right was Ronald Reagan, who was the conservative candidate, and George H.W. Bush, who was the more establishment country club kind of candidate. And Mike Pence, who is more conservative than George Bush, is actively running in that more country club establishment lane. He's talking about how we need to lay off companies, how not lay them off like lay off workers, meaning lay off like stop attacking companies, return to just the same old sort of mantras and mottos of the Reagan era. So he's running in that lane. And I suspect what Pence is thinking is, well, okay, maybe this doesn't describe the majority of the base right now, but Reagan had to pick Bush in 1980 to unite the party. Maybe somebody will pick me to be vice president, or maybe somehow I'll be the nominee as well. Right now, go to expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Let me ask you something. When you use the restroom, you always close the door behind you, right? You don't want random passersby looking in on you. So why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the restroom and not closing the door, okay? I love ExpressVPN. I'm a total Luddite, so I barely know how to use any technology, but it's so easy to use, even I can use it. You just download it, one click of a button on your cell phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, on whatever you want. I can say with full confidence ExpressVPN is the best VPN on the market. Here's why. Number one, ExpressVPN doesn't log your online activity. They even developed a trusted server technology that makes it impossible for their servers to store any data at all. Number two, speed. ExpressVPN does not slow down your user experience. You can stream HD videos with zero buffering. Number three, ExpressVPN is incredibly easy to use. It's that one button, you're done, you're good to go. If you're like me, you believe your online activity is your business, use our link, expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show today. Get 3 months free on a 1-year package. expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Marco Rubio. I like Marco Rubio. I think his heart basically is in the right place, or at least his political mind is basically roughly in the right place, but he's gone off the deep end, Mr. Rubio, because Marco Rubio is entertaining all this UFO stuff.
Do you find many of them credible?
Well, I don't find them either not credible or credible because we have no basis. Understand some of these claims are things that are beyond sort of the realm of what any of us has ever dealt with. What I think we owe them is just a mature, understand, listening and trying to put all these pieces together and just sort of intake the information without any prejudgment or jumping to any conclusions in one direction or another. I will say I find most of these people at some point, or maybe even currently, have held very high clearances and high positions within our government. So you do ask yourself, like, what incentive would so many people with that kind of qualification, these are serious people, have to come forward and make something up?
What kind of incentive would they have? Oh, Senator Rubio, come on. He's saying, look, I'm not rushing to judgment. I'm not saying I believe them, I don't believe them. And then he's saying, why would they make it up? He's saying the same thing Walsh says. Let me explain to you what the aliens are. And I was reminded of this verse by my friend Taylor Marshall. I had a good take on it. Great podcaster, Catholic guy. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Herein, in time past, you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of this air, of the spirit that now worketh on the children of unbelief. UFOs are just little things that we see in the sky that defy physical explanation. I don't want to just be like the guy on the History Channel. It's demons, guys. It's just demons. That's what it is. And the people, Walsh aside, and this is what bugs me about Rubio embracing this too. Walsh, solid Catholic guy, but he falls into this thing, the UFO stuff, the alien stuff, which is just demonology for liberal atheists. That's all it is. Because the people have known for all of human history that spiritual realities exist and that there are things that are physical and there are things that are physical and don't have a rational soul, like a rock. Then there are things that are physical and do have a rational soul, like human beings. And then there are things that are not physical, that are metaphysical, like ideas and love and hope and mathematics and angels and demons. That there are intelligences that do not have physical form. If you believe in God, let's not even get into the specifics on your religious views. If you believe that God exists, and don't forget, the existence of God can be known with certainty by the natural light of human reason from the created world. If you believe, there are many very good arguments for God's existence, and God's existence is necessary, and we can know that it is true just from the world around us using our own reason, then you know that God is metaphysical. God takes on a body in the incarnation, in the second person of the Trinity, Jesus Christ, but God the Father, God the Holy Spirit, metaphysical. It's not just like an old guy with a beard in the sky as the liberal atheists try to pretend. They try to pretend that we believe that. So if you acknowledge that there is at least one intelligent being that doesn't have a body, then, angels and demons flow from that. And then, of course, if you follow your reason to say, okay, I know that God exists, well, what can I know about God? And then you turn to Revelation, you see angels everywhere. And every group of people for all of human history, until just stupid modern liberal atheists, believed that angels and demons exist. And by the way, the stupid liberal modern atheists, they believe that too. They believe it when they get in the foxholes. They believe it when they get into a bad spot. They believe it even when they talk about their fallen comrades. They'll say, oh, so-and-so had demons. Oh yeah, that guy who died of a drug overdose, yeah, he sure had his demons. Everybody talks about it. But now we've got to pretend that everything's physical. You say, oh, pretty soon they're going to say, oh, poor Johnny died there drunk in the gutter, doing a bunch of drugs, and also, that boy, he had his aliens. Oh, that boy, he was tormented by Martians. But they are demons. Boy, what a great clip that was. Make sure you ring that bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.